Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I'm going to start a series of guitar lesson videos. You will find a playlist that is called Guitar Lessons. And this is going to be for you beginners out there to start with, but we are going to bring you right on up the levels over time. So I think we should get started at this. Now, one of the things you have to know how to do is how to tune your guitar properly. And so we're working with the six-string guitar. Doesn't matter if you're playing acoustic or electric, it's fine. You got E, A, D, G, B, and E. 88 Dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So grab yourself a tuner, and I'm going to try and give some close-ups as I can do this. But each string has to be center to be in proper pitch. So this is our low E, our A, our D, G, B. Now the B's a little high, so we're going to down tune below and bring it back up to pitch. You never want to tune down to pitch because it won't hold tune. And of course our E. So we're good to go. All right. So now we've got our tuning under control. We've got our guitar tuned up. Let's get started. Now I'm going to teach you guys the same exact method I was taught. It's beneficial to you to learn this stuff because you are actually learning some chords, not just playing single notes, and you are getting things going with your wrist because you need to learn how to pivot or twist pivot your wrist. There's more wrist and more arm, or sorry, more wrist and less arm in strumming. So if I'm going to strum something for an example, so I'm not using a whole lot of my arm there. Very little arm is actually used. Now I know you've seen people chop wood and all that sort of thing because they're okay. That's not what we're doing here. It's more wrist, less arm. There are times where you'll want to use more arm. Depends on the style of the song you're playing, how you're strumming it, how much pressure you're putting into the strings with the pick, etc. Okay. Now holding the pick is going to be a tricky thing. All right. I generally like to lay it down kind of like this, okay, and then just put my thumb right across and then just tuck my finger under a little bit. And the idea here is you need 1/4 inch or less for the stick out of the pick, okay. Now there are different ways. People like to, hold their pick like this, but this can cause a lot of problems. You kind of got to have things on a bit of an angle here, and you want to relax your hand. It's very important that your hand and your fingers are relaxed, and your fingers aren't like this or like this or like that. And you don't want to play with a fist either, because what happens with fist playing is if you try hand dampening, you are going to run your fingers right into those strings and you could actually tear your skin open. That would put you out of playing for quite a long time. So there are things for techniques with a fist, but not in general everyday use. So we're not even going to bother with any of that sort of stuff at this point in time. Let's get you playing. So I want you to put your first finger on the D string, okay, on the 2nd fret. And I want you to kind of like mute the strings below, which is okay, and have a bit of an angle going on here, because it's very important to get an angle so you can have stretch in your 3rd finger. Okay, now your fingers are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb is not included, okay? And what we want to do is we want to pick the open A string and then the D, and then we're going to do something like this. Okay, I like to say it's simple, which once you get the hang of it, it actually is. But at first, this can be a little frustrating. You're going to have a hard time keeping that pick going and with the right tension. You can squeeze a little harder on the pick. Give it a bit of tension because you want to be able to dig in too. So you don't want to hold the pick too loose, and you don't want the pick flying out of your hand or down into the sound hole of your guitar either. But what you want to do is, this is simple 4/4 stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. you're going to put the third finger down onto the fourth fret of that same D string, okay? Now, there's 4 beats to a bar, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to go down to the next string below after you've done that 4 times. You want to do this 2 times here on the G string, and you're going to keep this same fingering position on this fret. You're just moving down a string, and you're using this finger again, the third finger, over to the 4th fret, okay, on that same string. But now you're going to pick the open D and the G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that twice, and then move back to the beginning for 2. Okay, and then you're going to go up here 1 time here, down at the bottom one on the G. And here, you're going to go back to the beginning for 1. Okay, and then you're going to finish off the top at whatever kind of ending you want. Okay, now this is going to be E and A here, by the way. Okay, so you're going to be on the A string, 2nd fret, to the 4th fret A string when you come to this top one. So by the time you're done, it should be like sound like this. That's the whole tune right there. Just remember, this has to be played 4 times. Any ending you want. Okay, so that's your first lesson in guitar. You're going to have a hard time with this in the beginning. Don't worry about it. Failure is how we learn. We correct where we went wrong. It's going to take you a bit to catch on to this. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But when we get through all these 3 patterns, you'll start to see why we're doing things this way, and why this becomes a more beneficial way of learning how to play guitar, okay? Because like I said, there are hidden chords within this, etc., and there's a lot more to it than that, and you can really expand. And if you don't like the blues, well, you might not like this for the first little while, but you will learn to love it because, well, the majority of our music all stems from this stuff, so you gotta kind of have to appreciate it in the end anyways. And you'll be glad that you did, because I know for myself, I really didn't like doing these patterns myself. I wanted to learn chords right away and do all that, but I was not ready for that sort of thing. And this actually creates less problems with pain in your fingers. You will build your callus slower and with least amount of pain, okay? And it's going to be like a discomfort. It won't be like, oh, it won't be excruciating. But you got to remember one key thing here, and that's string pressure. And this is what I want to finish off with, and then we're out of here. So if you just barely touch a string, you're going to hear this. But as you start to push down gently, once you start hearing that string ring out, that is all the pressure you need. That's it. Now, I would invite you to make sure that your guitar is also well set up so that your action or string height is as close to the fretboard as it can go without buzzing and having dead strings. So you might want to consider getting your guitar professionally set up before you start learning to play, okay? that is definitely a very key important factor. Now the gauge of strings I'm using on this guitar are a 1254. 1253s are a little bit lighter, and you could drop down to like 1152s if you really needed a lighter string. Okay, it all depends on you and what your preference ends up being in the end. But if you do find that the heavier gauge strings that generally do come with guitars are a little thick for you and a little harder, then try a lighter gauge string, and that may help you a lot. In fact, I know it'll help you a lot too. But as you go lighter, your volume levels do change in your guitar too, so that's another thing. You won't get the same volume or the same sound out of your guitar. It'll be a very similar sound to stock strings, but it's going to be a little bit different. Anyway, that's it for this lesson. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below. And we'll be sure to catch you on the next one, which will be our next version of this sort of stuff. We do have 3 that we have to go through all together. So see ya.